So one thing I think is really, really important is the idea of not being afraid to take risks in life. It's part of learning to live authentically, is that you know that life really kind of demands risk from you. It demands change, it demands movement. And the only way you can truly have movement in life is to take risk. I mean, I know I've certainly taken plenty of risks in my life. In fact, I'm really kind of taking a new one here right now where I'm changing my jobs. I'm changing jobs to something new, really for more of a mental health break than anything else. And it's kind of a big risk because I'm going from making more money to possibly making less money. But at the same time, I move into risk and I do it through my heart space. You know, if my heart's just telling me it's the right move and my mind is telling me it's the wrong move, my heart wins out every time. My heart is always right. And it makes me really think about what if the magic is hiding in the shadows? You know, so many times we run away from those things that we fear and we try to push those things away and we try to go to something that's more known and we feel like is less risky. And I think that really the magic and the newness of life are found in the risks. They're found in the unknown. They're found in the shadows. And perhaps they're even found in our fears. You know, maybe the fear is sort of a mask or a curtain that hides our next greatness, you know, that hides our next possibility. Or perhaps it's not. And that's the whole thing of it. You know, you can't really live a risk-averse life because nothing is really yours to begin with. So the moment you try to hang on to something really, really hard is the moment you're probably really going to be most at risk of losing it. And on top of that, when you do lose things and they're ripped out of your hands, that's really the most traumatic. So when you learn to live a life where you no longer really even think anything is really even yours, and you understand that everything is on, you know, you're borrowing it, right? It's not really yours. You don't have like the deed to it, even if you have the deed to your house. It's more like something that you're kind of borrowing, you know, from the universe or from the whatever you want to call it, the divine. You understand it's just yours to take care of for the moment, and it allows you to be much less grasping at things. Because when we grasp at things, that's generally when things kind of can get ripped out of our hands. And that is really, I think, one of the prescriptions for a life filled with suffering, you know, a life where it's just not really fun to really even live, you know. But when you learn to kind of just live in the moment and take things kind of as they go naturally, that is really where you're able to live a life where you can just kind of take things in stride. You know, you can kind of take it as it goes. And you can understand that since nothing is really yours to begin with, this is a busy little neighborhood. I'm trying to stay away from getting run over right now. So sorry about my grandpa ramble this morning in this busy little neighborhood. Usually I go a little bit earlier. But I think it's just really important to understand that, you know, we all, I think, try to live risk adverse at first. You know, I mean, so many times we're trying to make sure that we don't, you know, lose our money, we don't lose our health, we don't lose our jobs, we don't lose our relationships. And certainly we shouldn't risk everything, but is about taking risks. Life is about the new. And if you live it too risk adverse, you'll never actually live. And what'll happen, I can almost guarantee it, is that to teach you that lesson, life will find ways to take those things away from you. And then if you put your entire identity around having whatever it is that you think you have, when those things go away from you, well, you've lost your identity. And then what do you have left? Because we're really taught to really build ourselves around our ego. We're taught to build ourselves around, you know, what we do and what we have and who we're in relationship with and where we live and all these other descriptors that are all man-made. You know, we build ourselves around, this is who I am. And if those things are taken away and we lose those things, then who are we? But if we can live a life where we just are living in the moment without all these definitions and ideas that if I'm not this, then I'm nothing, then we can live a life where we just kind of ebb and flow and we become the best version of ourselves in the moment. Because if we super define ourselves, if we super, narrow ourselves into this is all I am, then there's only a certain numbers of ways that we can even live. One thing that I was really taught very poignantly in my Tantra training was the idea to give up preferences. And it's not that you shouldn't have certain, go-tos or things that you really like. It's okay to like things. But the problem is if you set those in stone of, I only eat this, I only go on vacation here, I only talk to this kind of person, I only go to this kind of place, I only do that type of entertainment, I only watch this type of show or whatever it might be. You're knocking out all of these other possibilities. Because one thing that's always changing, believe it or not, is you. Because every moment that you show up, you're bringing your new self into it. You're not ever the same either. And you might need something new. I know for me, it's hard for me to pick like one radio station because I'm always wanting something different. I just can't stand to even listen to the same kind of music back to back to back. I'm always switching around. And it's because my brain just needs that different. It needs that new because I'm always changing. I'm always becoming new. And the same thing is happening for you as well. So I think that's about the end of my ramble for today. I'm hoping that helps you and that perhaps you're willing to take some risks. Perhaps you're willing to make some change. Perhaps you're willing to look at more possibilities for yourself. And what does that look like if you could possibly give up your definitions for what is perhaps right for you or wrong for you? What if you could give up those preferences and allow yourself to possibly explore a little bit more? If you explore something and you don't like it, well, you can just choose not to like it. At least you know what's out there. At least you've tried something different. And I guarantee you that if you try some different things, even if you didn't like that particular situation or experience, I bet it will change some of the things that you do. I bet you might morph just a little bit of that experience into your life and into what you like to do, because it will have changed you. It will have made you new. So don't be afraid of yourself changing. Don't be afraid of others changing. And don't be afraid of life changing. Because if you do, you're going to have a lot of suffering. Because one thing I can guarantee you is you're going to change. Everyone around you is going to change. And life is going to change. And the quicker you can adapt and understand that nothing is really yours anyway, and nothing is permanent, and nothing is set in stone. And also, like I drill home so many times, there is no one person, there's no human organization that truly has complete power and dominion over you unless you accept it, unless you say that that is so. Because I know going into 2025, there are going to be a lot of us, that a lot of human organizations, a lot of individual humans and people out there are going to try to tell us who we are and what we can and can't do. And it is only if we accept that, and only if we say that is true, and only if we give over the reins to our own empowerment, that becomes so. And there's only do, as Yoda would say. I am giving empowerment tools to as many who will listen, so that we can all be our authentic selves. We can all be empowered. We can all be happy and joyful, no matter what. And we can all rise strong. Because that's the only way that we can truly keep humanity going. And it's the only way that my little grandson can have a peaceful and joyful life. And that, at the end of the day, is my main mission. So, until later, I hope this has meant something to you. If you have, please like and comment and subscribe to this channel and Let me know what it is that you're working on and what risks you're taking. I would love to know, because I would love to support you in that. I think it's important that we find a community of people that will love and support each other in our change and in our risk, and see us for the true empowered individuals that we are. And that's how I see you. So until later, love, peace, and release.